Pardon my French, but...
What the fuck? What the fuck?
All right, Dave Franco, Alison Brie, the brand new horror movie together. I was super pumped about this. It's been a week, and I'm still...
I love you.
And years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads as they move into the country with tensions already flaring. An encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. The best aspect of this movie, before we get into the horror elements and some comedic bits that mesh extremely well, I think tonally, it's one of the better horror movies of the year. But it's obviously the chemistry between Dave Franco, Alison Brie. Well, they're a couple in the movie, obviously, but you can tell they are in real life. I mean, the way they bounce back and forth off of each other. And this is a couple that's going through it. Like, the opening scene in the film is so awkward, and you're thinking to yourself, this relationship, it's not a good one. It's not going well. And they feel like they are stuck. Stuck in the thick of it all, and they are trying their best to make it work because they've been together for so long, and when you're together for that long, sometimes the relationship is based more off of the idea of longevity as opposed to actually loving each other. And these are themes that are somewhat explored at the beginning of Together, but really they are starting a new venture in this very quiet, quaint, small town, and in a part of town where no one lives. They go on a little hiking trail, and they kind of stumble onto something, well, very interesting, a little freaky. And my one quirk about that moment in the film, before we hit all of the madness, and the madness comes...
What do you mean by that?
These two are handling the situation they get themselves in going into the second act way better than any normal human being. If I went to where they went to, I would be panicking, losing my mind. I'd tell my wife, you're on your own.
I gotta get out of here! Too late!
All jokes aside, in case you're watching, honey, this is one of those movies where the setup is so interesting, and I'm so curious where they're going to go with this, because we've seen the posters. I watched the trailer and I thought, I don't know where this plot is going to go, but I do know that it's going to feature some magnificent body horror. And oh my God, if you are into that type of thing, it's very Substance-esque. Extremely different story. Circumstances are almost a 180 from that movie, but in terms of body horror, how it affects you, the grotesque nature of it, and really what is happening between these two throughout the second going into the third act of this movie is going to be traumatizing for some. Now, I say this all the time. I'm someone, I can watch a horror movie, jump scares. They don't usually do it for me. This is not really a movie that relies on jump scares. This is a film that relies on the grotesque aspect of what's happening to these two. Specifically, Dave Franco. And obviously there are some underlying themes here, taking their relationship into account, what's happening to them physically, and then how it manifests itself all throughout this movie. I found that to be fascinating. So the idea underneath Together is a great one. The premise is awesome. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this could go in 10 different ways and ultimately not end up where it needs to end up, but I'm at least really intrigued based off of what this setup is. And then as we get into what's actually starting to happen between these two, so you're taking all of that great chemistry that they have in the beginning, and now they're starting to panic. And things are going crazy on screen. You're going crazy off screen thinking, I knew what I was in for, not fully, obviously, but once you start to see where this is going, it is so much fun. I had a blast with this movie. It starts, obviously, with these two performances, Alison Brie, Dave Franco. They are so good, man. And Dave Franco's doing the classic Dave Franco character. It's kind of that shtick that he's fallen in a little bit. The good thing about having both of these performers here is you're getting a great natural sense of humor in the midst of the madness. And that was awesome. I've seen some people call this like a comedic horror movie, and I'm thinking that's pushing it too far. I think this is more psychological horror, riding that line of dark comedy, which I really appreciate. But there are moments that feel extremely grounded in the midst of this incredible psychological tension that break the mold just a little bit, bring us back down to earth, and allow us to breathe before we plummet right back in to what Together is all about. And it felt so relentless once it started to amp up. Now, just take a second to get there. A little bit of build up with this couple, this new town, meeting some characters along the way. I thought Damon Harriman did a great job as Jamie, have some really down-to-earth conversations. But I love the level of creepy this movie is able to hit. It's not only psychologically scarring, it doesn't only give us body horror and nothing else. I felt so creeped out by certain moments when you don't really know where it's about to go. And I'll give this movie kudos, man. It's not often a horror movie has tropes, right? It kind of falls into a cliche or two, but it's not often where I'm watching one, I'm thinking, I don't know where this is going to go. And even if it doesn't pay off with its ending for everyone, and we'll get to the ending here in a second, it's at least an entertaining journey. And sometimes it's less about the destination and more about the journey. And I thought this journey for a horror fan, especially one that loves this type of subgenre, I feel like you all are really going to appreciate what it does, man. Such an original experience with rock-solid filmmaking. I liked the cinematography. There's nothing revolutionary or groundbreaking about it all, but it didn't need that, man. It delivers what it sets up to deliver. Now, in terms of the actual delivery, and I'm talking the final 5 to 10 minutes of this movie, I still don't entirely know what to think. There are aspects to it that I appreciate, especially when we start to get answers to these questions. And ultimately, you are not left asking any questions. This movie gives you all that you need. I just don't know if that final scene, maybe even the final frame, entirely worked for me. It is inevitably where it was all headed. I completely understand that. But there was something about the ending to this movie that didn't quite work. And maybe what keeps it from reaching that next tier of greatness, in my opinion. But I use the word greatness. I could shorten it to great. This is a pretty great horror film. And I see why it's acclaimed now. I see why people were really talking about it earlier in the year at these festivals. I get it. I also want to say this. It's such a testament to how well-written characters can carry a premise like this. Like, if we were dealing with cliched characters with no chemistry, a whack sense of humor, like characters you didn't care about, I don't think this movie would have worked at all. You can buy their relationship, the fact that they're having real conversations, once again, in the midst of the madness, and you can feel that they actually, obviously they love each other, but they're not entirely sure if this relationship is working. And again, that's a testament to these two actors. Such a fun ride. I need you all in the comments down below. What'd you think about Together? Was it a little too much for you? Or do you like this kind of creepy story? Leave your thoughts. Share this video. Drop a like. All those things. Together absolutely delivers the thrills, chills, and psychological trauma required to be considered a successful horror endeavor. The chemistry, as expected, is brilliant and grounds what is an otherwise otherworldly experience. And yeah, I didn't expect to have this kind of reaction to this movie, which I thought was like a low-budget indie horror movie, and oh my god. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.